Hi guys, welcome back. So between the last video and this video, I've gone ahead and I've sent my signatures into my book. Again, this is a custom order that I'm working on, and you'll see that I've already stitched in all of the signatures. There's only 2 in this book, and I've put the pockets in here, the folder-like pockets that I showed last video. So for this video, what I wanted to do is show how to use some of the offcuts that I had. So basically what I do is I use the offcuts in 2 or 3 different ways. These ones are a little bit skinnier, so these ones I'm probably going to end up using for journaling cards. But these ones are a good size. They're about 3 inches across, and I'm going to take them and cut them into different sizes, either into 2s or 3s in a section, and I'll just use these for pockets. Now there's a couple of different ways that I do pockets, so I'll show you a couple of variations really quickly. So again, I'm not measuring anything. I'm just going to kind of cut it and see what happens. I know that my book is... How tall is my book? I say I know how tall my book is. How tall is my book? My book is about 8 inches tall. 9 inches tall. So I know that these can't be any taller than 9 if I'm going to use it for a side tuck, because then it's going to extend beyond my pages. So I'm just going to make sure that I don't cut this any longer than 9. So I'm going to cut this one. I think I'll cut this one at 5. Okay, there we have it. So I have one piece at 5 and one piece that looks like about 6. And on this one, I think I'm just going to round the corners. Where is my snip? Hang on. All right, snip. Okay, here we go. I'm going to round the corners, but I think just at the bottom. And then I could put a thumb hole in here if I wanted to, but on this one, I don't want to. What's the reason? Who knows? Just because. So for this one, I'm going to take my marker and I'm going to go around this top portion, because again, like I had shown you in a previous video, it just adds a little bit of emphasis and makes it look a little nicer, I think. So here we go. I'll do this real quick. Super quick method. Oh, my paper's not long enough. Go figure. All right. That's an easy fix. Put this down here. I'm making this way more complicated than what it needs to be. Okay, here we go. And I'll just use the side of this to give me a guide on here. Do this real quick. So this piece that I'm working on right now is, like I said, a commission piece, and what I'm doing the style in is modern farmhouse. So I have a lot of grays in here, and if you'll notice when I flipped through that book a minute ago, all the red pieces that I had done are not in there because the lady had changed her mind and said she would like to have light pink. So I went ahead and took out those red ones that I had put in there, but it's really not a big deal. It was only a couple of pages, so it didn't set me back terribly far. So as you can see, it's an offcut of this one right here. So I'm not going to put this one on here, because then it's just, I mean, it would look okay, I guess, but it's just not all that interesting, you know? And normally what I do when I'm trying to figure out where to put this thing is I'll find a contrasting piece, and I really like to use the slightly thicker cardstock pieces, the designer paper, because it's going to be really difficult to actually write something on here. And if I put a card, in here, a journaling card, then that just gives somebody some other place to write. So I'm just trying to select, that looks kind of neat. What else do I have? This is literally the part that takes me the longest, is trying to figure out where I'm going to put this. That's a pretty good contrast. Yeah, I'm just going to put here. All right. So since this is going to be a pocket for a tuck, I'm just going to run my glue around the outside. trying to stay fairly close to the outside, but not super close. Like I said, if I wanted to, could have done a thumb hole up here, but I'll do that on another one. Because I do like doing different things just because I think it adds interest to the book itself. And I'll just put that down there. Okay, so that's one style. And the other style that I do, I'll do the pockets like that. That's a little bit crooked. I still have a minute. Okay, go. There we go. I have the pockets like that, and then I'll do the side tucks on longer pieces. Yeah, I'll just use this one. This is fine. So for this one, I'm going to make it a little bit longer. So I'm only going to cut off, I need to have this because I can't tell what in the world I'm doing. Okay. Okay, let's make this not super long. Let's make this about a 7. 7.5? No, 7. Let's just go 7. Okay, shoot. Okay, here we are. All right. So what I'm going to do for this one, and this is directional. I probably shouldn't have used directional. Let's get something else that's not directional. It's all right. I can use that some other place. Oh, here's a good one. All right, here we go. 7. That's about 7. Shoot. Okay. So here's my card. And what I want to do is I want to, on a different page, is put this here. But I do want it to have an angle on here. So I'm going to cut off a piece of the triangle. And again, this isn't measured. I do want a little bit up at the top. It's not measured. I'm just going to kind of eyeball the angle that I want. There we go. And I'll use this guy some other place. And now I'm going to grab this guy, and I want the bottoms, the 90-degree corners rounded. And I actually want these rounded too, but of course this doesn't fit in here so well. So I'm going to grab scissors, and I'm just going to take care of that real quick. 1 second. Why is it that you have literally 50,000 pairs of scissors, and then when you go looking for scissors, there's none to be found? Just absolutely none to be found. All right, so here we go. And of course, I get the dullest pair in the entire world. That sounds about right. There we go. All right, so for this guy, I think I'm going to go around the outside edges again with that metallic marker, but I'll come back and do that later. So for this one, I would select a page that I want to put it on, and then I would put glue around the long side and then the bottom. So that way that you can slide something in here in the corner like this. And I think that's kind of a different thing, or at least it's something, you know, discoverable in the journal, which I really like. And then the last thing I wanted to show you real quick is, I think I'll use this one. This isn't a cardstock. This is actually fairly lightweight. So this entire paper is, let's see here, a little bit over 11 long. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this to make flips. So I want to cut it into thirds, or approximate thirds, in order to make flips. So I'm going to cut this, I think, at about 2 and... No, let's cut it at like 3. Let's cut it at 3.5. That'll be close. So that's going to be one flip. And then I'm just going to fold this in half to figure out where the half is. And if one's a little bit longer than the other, that's not a big deal. Yeah, it's going to be a quarter off. Okay, I can live with that. So then I would use this to make flips. And by the time that I get done with all of this, I'm going to have 0 leftover scraps, guys, and that's great. All right, let me go ahead and finish this up, and I will come back and show you what I did. Okay, I'm back. So it's actually been several days since I did the first part of the video when I was showing you how to cut out these corner tucks, just because I needed to go ahead and get this commission piece done, so I just had to put my head down and work. So here's one of the corner tucks that you saw me cut. It's one of the tall corner tucks, right? And I'll show you some of the goodies inside when I do a flip through later. But you can also see some of the flips that I cut here. And I just want to show a few more things. This is a stacked pocket, and again, this is with the offcuts. And one last thing is a corner tuck. No, wait, there's one more thing. Corner tuck up here. And then this is a pocket, but also a journal card down here at the bottom. And this is actually the one that you saw me cut, the wood grain one. And I just went around it with a metallic marker and then just stamped it. And that's it. So, zero waste book, and I actually even used up some of my old book pages as well. All right, I'll show you guys the flip through next time. Bye.